how to do intro.
The
Okay.
power of editing will solve things.
Have you seen the new Brigade video? Yeah.
The one from top
And it
16.
looks like we got
Yeah.
Madolche clapped
Yeah.
up. Wow.
Oh,
Winning
man, I'm
game
getting
1
sacked in this game.
for Madolche to then take
But
game
they
2 and game 3. Madolche
Very
for
much
the
so.
win. Let's
Right
go.
there. Okay, we'll do it in alphabetic order. So, Abyss Actor, we'll put this in this pair, of course.
Mhm. I guess that's fair.
Yeah.
Alright. Adams. Ooh, Adams.
Yeah.
I'm unsure between tier 2 and 3.
Not one.
Definitely not one, no. There's only 2 decks that I'm thinking about to put in one. We'll see them later.
I think it's solid two. Or one.
It could be 2. Because they don't even lose to Bestials. They have an FTK, you know, typical turn on board. Play through a fair bit of things. It's just not being used too much right now, I guess. And that's why I'm debating. But I guess tier 2 is like fair. Like they're good. Block is a good card. So I guess tier 2 is fine, yeah. They still have a bunch of tools. Ancient Warriors.
It's
Is it-
just blind second thing, like you go for OTK. It's really hard to OTK.
That too, yeah. Yeah, so it's probably on the last one too, yeah. Okay, next
Yeah.
up. That's Dragonity, right?
No, it's Armetric. Aurora Don Turbo, Tomahawk.
Yeah. Yeah, from what I've seen, like when I see Heartbreaker play, that's basically it. It's Aurora Dawn Turbo.
Tomahawk, Don Turbo. It's still
Yeah,
so pop,
I
but
mean anything that's
very
Aurora Dawn
pretty,
Turbo
so-
at least deserves scope, right?
Yeah.
Blackwings. Honestly, Blackwings. High tier of cope, I wanna say. I don't play them, so I don't know how well they play into stuff, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of it for me. If they're like awful, they could go to the bottom tier, to a D.
Yeah. But still,
I do want to keep it in cope for now. Like I think,
Yeah.
I think it deserves to be that. Okay, that one I feel like we both know where it goes.
But
that
like this
one,
was
that one
showing-
doesn't really need any explanation.
I don't know why.
I'm sorry, Blois players. Branded tier. Ooh, okay. So I've seen some testing of this. It's actually worse than both branded and tier. Funnily enough. It's basically more consistent,
It's good.
but
Again,
less powerful.
Yeah, in pile form it's better. It's the kind of deck.
See, I mean, of grass. Yeah, I mean, I open grass, so I grass and I milk crazy. Yeah, I win, obviously. I actually don't know where to put it. I don't know if it deserves tier 2, to be honest. Which is kind of weird because it's Brendan and tier, right? Like, they're really good decks. It's just, together they work, they just don't mix up that well, funnily enough.
Yeah.
Like, it works, but it's not as good if you just played regular branded or regular tier. So, I feel like that for now is fine. Speaking of which, next one's branded.
Yeah.
That one easily goes to high tier 2 for me, in my opinion. Still a really good deck though. Oh, it's good. Buster Blader. Yeah, that's... I've never seen anyone play that.
Just a combination, you know?
I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I've seen a single...
They top last weekend when we played.
Oh, right, it did,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, I didn't see it, but it did. Yeah, true. It actually topped. So, like, lowest low of cope. There you go. Is there one for D-Link?
No, Chaos Pile.
Is that really just... Yeah. So there's another one for the link. So that's just Chaos
Yes,
Spell. Okay.
that's what I got.
Chaos Spyle. Chaos Spyle. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not a big fan. It's usually 60 cards, right? Too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. They kind of do stuff when they get poppin'. They get poppin', but ultimately, I don't really think they do much. I would put that probably in cope as well. Honestly, like you can play it. It's just you won't really be doing enough unless you open cracked and your opponent doesn't have any hand traps.
One thing I hate about Pile is Snow Wheel. Oh my god, Snow is so annoying. Like
Snow goes crazy.
a little bit of
Cyber Dragon. Cyber Dragon. I guess that's fair. It doesn't see any representation. I do wanna say though, I think it's better than like the other ones that are also on that tier. Honestly.
probably the top of
Yeah.
the despair.
Yeah. Dark World, right?
The new
That's
one,
Dark
yeah.
World? Dark Worlds. Okay, so they banned the hand looping. I'm gonna be real, I have no idea what that deck does in terms of like pressure on board. Like I know what they do as a deck. I have no idea how good they can be. I'm not too hopeful though. I'm just gonna be honest. I don't really think they'll be that great.
With the hand looping,
Especially without the hand loop.
yeah.
I
Grappa is
uh,
still good.
I can agree with that. In Cope tier.
It's probably
But yeah, we'll see how good it actually is. It might be better, it might be worse. Like I genuinely don't really know. But yeah. Dinos. Ooh, Dinos. Honestly, Dinos for me deserve a tier 3. I'm gonna be real. I know someone who's been using them, who use them quite a lot, and I mean they just keep clapping. They just keep doing well. So I definitely think it deserves a tier 3.
Dinos,
I feel like
still
Dinomorphia. It's also another good deck that's like honestly not played enough. But it's not like up there, but it's good. Maybe like low tier 3, like mid tier 3, to be honest. Possibly. Rex is just a crazy card.
Super
Summoning stuff.
Super Poly is so often Rexes can be out easily.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. That's a good point. Super Poly does cook them, and it's at 3 right now, and it's like super good.
It's really hard to play.
I guess that would bump them down a bit, huh? But you won't see Super Poly all the time either. So either like low tier 3 or like really high cope tier. But I would leave it in tier 3 personally. Ooh, Dragon Link. For me, that's an easy tier 2. I don't know how you feel about it. To me, that's an easy tier 2. Easy.
It's better than branded, or it just clap branded so much.
That one's hard to say. I think D-Link is less predictable than branded. I don't know if I would call it better though. Because with D-Link you like disrupt something, and then you don't really know what's in their hand.
Regain it and be still give them a lot of advantage, and their hand is so big even after their full combo.
Yeah, that too. But then you have branded, and you kind of know better what they do. But branded also goes crazy. Branded goes absolutely crazy. So they're close, I would say. They're pretty close. Dogmatika. Yeah, that's a despair for me. I don't really see them doing anything, especially not during a meta where branded exists. So yeah.
Why?
Yeah, that's
goddamn despair all of this.
Yep. The best DM does is flip skill drain or search. I think they can search it for the What's the name? Spellcaster Village? Yeah, that. So that's what DM does. There you go. DDD. I haven't seen DDD in a while.
Yeah, I have not seen it either.
Although they can put up a decent board. But since they're so non-existent right now, I'd say Despair is fair. Just because I really don't see them at all.
Yeah,
Dragon Maids, yeah, that one's bottom tier too. That deck does absolutely nothing. Ooh, Drytron. You know, Drytron is so weird because if you imagine you're on ladder, right? Or even in a tournament, and Drytron goes first against you, and you don't open any bestials or anything really. You kind of just lose. Like you still lose. They still have the FTK board, right? So for that alone, I feel like you have to give them cope. Even though, dude, you don't see them anywhere. It's a sack. You basically need to go first, and bestials are everywhere. However, if you don't draw them, nor Maxi, obviously, you kind of just lose, right? Like you just lose because every single card is getting, So I would put it like the very bottom of cope, simply because it still works. You also still have Bantan and you have Eva. So yeah, I think that's fair. It's just Eldritch. Oh boy, Eldritch. That goes to bottom, right? I mean, as long as there's good Runnick decks, and then the bestials too, right? Because the bestials banish the Elden Lord. The deck just can't function, I don't think. So yeah, that's fair. Ooh, Endymion. Every time I play against that deck, if I go second and I don't have Blowout Hand Trap, they kind of just keep going. they just always keep going. It's like, bruh. Of course, if you imperm the or Valor the Link 2, I'm forgetting name. The Electromite. Yeah. If you do that, then their turn, there's a good chance their turn is over. But other than that, they can just keep going. If it's an Ash, it will do nothing. Bestials do not work on it. So yeah.
I actually played against them last weekend in Metal
Oh really?
Yeah. It's pretty decent. It gives me a hard time, but I'm still questioning that consistency. They just draw a bunch, but nothing at all.
Kinda, yeah. Oh, they also get cooked by Super Poly.
Yeah, Super Police everywhere, and they all got so yeah.
Hycops is fine. Exosister is extremely weird for me.
Still around.
For me, because for me it's a deck that's it really shouldn't be as good as it seems it is. But even the last Meta Weekly, it got to the finals, right? So I don't know if I want to give it tier 2 though. It's if it goes second, it actually just loses if it doesn't open shifter. It's so bad. I want to say respect the deck and put it at a tier 3, but no higher. Definitely no higher. I wouldn't put Exosister at the same level of those other decks. There's no shot, to be honest. So yeah, just leave it somewhere in there. Yeah, and that's fine. Flu, honestly, same boat. But Flu is better than Exosister in my opinion.
Yeah.
Doesn't lose to Maxi at all. And the things that work against it are things that usually don't work against other decks well, if that makes sense. But bestials don't work at all. Like I already said, Maxi also doesn't work. And on gods, people say it's a bricky deck. I never see them brick, bro. They always have it. So yeah, I would almost put them at tier 2, almost. Tier 3 is fine though, I guess. Yeah.
It's better than this.
It's definitely better than Exosister though.
Yeah.
Really, it's better than Exosister in general. What's that? Generator. Okay, yeah.
This is from the new pack.
I don't even know
I
what
don't
that deck
even know
does.
either,
Oh, new pack. I mean, is that really gonna do anything?
no,
Probably
I
not,
think
right?
So yeah, it's probably despair. I don't know.
Yeah, it's Goaty. Honestly, I would put Goaty in like the bottom of Cope.
Yeah, go
To be
the
honest, if the deck goes first, you know, it can actually do a few things. Banishes your field, and it can play shifters. So, bottom of Cope.
bottom of club.
It's, you know, it's a little bit pushy. You know, we're pushing a little bit. It could be on the bottom tier, but I think it deserves a little bit more than that. The Grave Creepers, aka Necro Valley Turbo, and that's it. Necro Valley Turbo.
Hello.
So,
It's still
where do we
about-
rank Necro Valley, basically?
Yeah, it's Necrophilia.
It just doesn't do anything.
Yeah, it sounds like a cop still. Still a cop.
I would possibly put it in bottom. I don't know, man. If it goes second, you literally can't win. Like, if it goes second, you
Oh.
have no chance. Even if your opponent bricks,
Yeah.
I feel like you still lose. It just doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
It searches Necro Valley and passes. Heroes. Heroes is probably Cope tier. You know, just solid, high, mid Cope tier, I wanna say.
A lot of fans still.
Heroes is another deck that I can also bolt to Plasma plus Dark Claw
Oh.
Turbo deck. I was trying to think if I give it like personally a tier 3 or a Cope. Like I'm trying to think like
It's
you know,
it's
'cause-
still a cop. I don't think it's really like
probably Cope, right?
yeah,
Pro-
Not good.
yeah, probably Cope.
probably higher
Yeah.
than everything.
I feel like Ignister didn't change at all. It's just the same deck. Like it didn't change anything with the meta, I don't think. So I don't play Ignister. I'm not really sure how good it is right now. It's probably Cope though, right?
Yeah.
It's not a bad deck. I think it also folds pretty easily going second, because you just stop the field spell and they lose, right? So it's like, yeah. Ooh, that's 8 axes, right?
Yeah. The problem about Oteka is Bestial can body block you. Like, body
Yeah,
block.
true. I guess that's a big point. Yeah, yeah. Probably in despair just because of that. Otherwise, I would give it Cope. But yeah,
This is the unit.
they still exist.
Karakuri.
Which one's that? Oh, Karakuri.
Machine Bell, yeah, machine.
Yeah, I think that's an FTK deck, right? It's one of those where you just keep going, Arodon Turbo type thing.
Arodon Turbo, like.
Yeah, right? Yeah. I would give this bottom Cope. I actually saw Josh play this on stream.
Yeah.
It goes kind of hard when you don't hand trap it. So yeah, that's fun, I guess. Ooh, Labrynth, the big one coming. Ooh, boy.
Oh, boy.
Where do I want to put this? So,
The barrier is
I've
tricky,
seen Labrynth cards. I know what they're going to do. So it's basically a guess, how good will it be into the format? I think going first, it'll be insane, just as everyone thinks it is, because it just searches the floodgate and you lose. But going second though, like, I want to know how good it is going second, right? Because you need to break a board with traps, so it's like, how well can you do that? You know, including with the new cards, I wonder. I haven't really like read much. I haven't seen combos.
In Master Duel BO1, it's not really good. Like you can side your trap or looks at your opponent and what's to decide to set
Yeah.
your trap.
Yeah. In tournament
but it's
format,
still good.
it's amazing. Yeah.
It's still pretty good. Kind of Therion.
So I said earlier, only 2 decks were on tier 1 for me. I'm wondering if I want to give Labrynth tier 1 or not. I think that's a bit bold. What do you think?
Red Reboot semi-limited.
Yeah. How popular will Red Reboot be? That's also another thing.
In Tearlaments, you can Salik or Crime. On the
Yeah.
Flower Drift can still Red Reboot Living Town.
True. Yeah. It just doesn't do anything against like Dragon Link,
Or
Adams, Spright also doesn't do anything. So it's kinda rough. Yeah. I would maybe put the Labrynth in low tier 2, but I can see the tier 3. We'll see. We'll see how dominant it is. But it will definitely be good though. Like it'll be something you need to watch out for.
This time, your favorite.
Oh boy, my personal deck. Now for me, that's an easy tier 3. Easy. And it's very simple. This one I can actually explain well because I actually play it. It can compete with the decks up there, and you experienced that even just in this past meta weekly. The thing is, it doesn't have the modern Yu-Gi-Oh card text tools to like. If I go second, I will lose if I don't open some tech cards to help me break boards or like stop my opponent from playing. Especially with the Verns, because if you negate Verns, I just go -2 and I cry and it's awful. So that really sucks. But it like in terms of like card effects and what it does, what it can do, if I just get going, it can win against any deck. I mean, for you to break my board, I needed to my turn 1 board. I needed to have a real bad hand because I opened with both my bricks and no non-engine. You had the Called by the Grave for my searched maxi, and he dropleted all my monsters.
Yeah, that was
And you were playing
I
brandeds. Yeah, and even then, I was 1 card away from being able to OTK come back. By the way, 1 card away. So it's really hard to break a Madolche board. It's just the fact that I need help going second. Going second, the deck doesn't really have the tools to like break a board like Tier has, like Branded has, like Dragon Link has, right? So that's why it can't be higher. But yeah, but everything else it has. It also has the best grind game in the entire Yu-Gi-Oh game, by the way. So, little fun fact. Anyway, next. Marincess. Ooh, Marincess. I haven't seen much of it lately, actually.
Typical cyber.
Does it have any tops lately? Let me check.
No,
Okay, there's one. Top 16 on July 3rd, so last week. It did get a top. Is it deserving of low tier 3? Or is it just cope?
I don't know. Like
What do you
every
think?
cybers is the same. Like hand trap, 1 card combo, just like that. Everything is the same. But still
Yeah.
playable though. Yeah.
Worth
It
noting, it doesn't. It's another deck that doesn't lose
doesn't-
to
it doesn't lose to
Bestials.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just harder deck. I think that's fair. I like, you know, low tier 3. I think I like that. Yeah.
Might make.
Ooh, Math Mech.
Might make.
This one's interesting. Because Circular is still a card, however, Bestials are also cards that exist.
Yeah.
So it's quite the... You know, I want to put it in cope, but like, having Math Mech in cope, and then some of the other decks in tier 3 feels weird, right?
Yeah. But it's not better than.
But it's...
It's still playable.
It's also hard because it hasn't been doing anything
I
either.
think
I'm pretty sure.
Ignister type of tier. Like you can put it beside Ignister. Like they used to be play with Ignister. Like now. Like now Ignister are so
Yeah. Aren't they still played with Ignister?
Yeah.
Maybe? I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Once Bestials fall off the meta, it'll probably be a better deck. What's that?
Mutant.
Oh, Mutant, dude, of
Yeah.
course. Okay, yeah, no, that's going into bottom. Now,
Okay.
Naturia, this is not Runnick, because the Runnick one is like up there. Yeah.
This is
So
Spyral.
this one's just
Spyral.
pure.
I just
Because Naturia without Runnicks does nothing.
yeah,
Like it actually does nothing. So I was gonna put it in D.
really do anything.
Ninjas. Ninjas. I'll put that in D. But I will be honest, I also don't know how they work, like how well they work. That's Numeron, right?
Yeah.
It's just Numeron. Sometimes you cheese, but it's like, yeah, no. So, I've talked with Michael about Orcust, but I've heard like you can even play through a Bestial sometimes, from like what I heard, so that doesn't hurt it too much. And then you, like I just said, you play it with another engine.
Yeah, you just
From what I've heard, and you kind of just like work with it. So I wouldn't put it in despair. I would put it in cope. I think we should give it a little bit of credit, even if it's not like great. It can do stuff. So I think it's fine there. That's okay. That's like every pin deck ever. What even is that? Like, how do we?
It's Pendulum Magician.
Is that like Pendulum Magician?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so the other one was the
Endymion.
Pendulum Magician. That to me is like near the same, bro. Like I don't see any difference if I'm being real. It's just the same generic like good pins that do the like every card does the same thing, except you then use a few different cards in terms of disruption, and that's about it. So they're about the same. Phantom Knights. Okay, that has to be a D, right?
Yeah,
Right now?
Still everywhere. Yeah. Still.
Yeah, and it doesn't do much. It's just not.
We
So
used
yeah.
to have time with Scytale and everything, but not this time.
Plunder Patrol. I'm not a huge fan, but I've seen people respect the deck and call it decent with the Runnick.
Yeah.
So I guess it can stay in cope. Punks is another interesting one. You usually play punks like a pile deck,
Yeah,
right?
already
I mean, I guess you
Papa
could
Spyral.
play it pure. Punk's decent, yeah. I was trying to think, yeah, that's probably right. Cope, but it's like, you know, it's not really. It's cope if you're like trying to win a tournament or something, but like it's still a decent deck you can climb with and stuff. Yeah. Peppy is also a card that exists, and it's a card, yeah. So.
Giga.
Ooh, boy, Rikka, that's so underrated. Such an underrated deck. Boy, I almost want to put it in tier 2.
It is, dude.
I might. Turn 1 is cracked. I mean, the turn 1. Okay, yeah, okay. So let's see. Turn 1 is insane.
Yeah.
Like if they just play, they can put up a near FTK board, if not really FTK.
Or you just put Bouncer and anything.
It also doesn't lose to Bestials. It actually plays surprisingly well under Maxi. It doesn't play amazingly, and then going second is where I think there's a problem. And then if your opponent also removes the Con or like access from Con,
Yeah.
it's easier to outgrind them, right? Because they can't tribute your cards now.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's where the problem resides, and why I'm inclined between tier 3 and 2. but I think it's strong enough to put it in low tier 2. Like, I think I want to give it the respect because it's really underrated. I feel like it should be used more. Like, it is a good deck. So yeah. Ooh, Runnick. Is that the stun?
Yeah, pure stun thing.
Stun.
Nah,
Put that shit onto the ground, man. Fuck that deck.
Yeah.
Okay, no, but Runnick stun. I mean, let me think about it for a bit. It's just the Runnick cards are limited, you know, semi-limited, the good ones.
Terraforming.
The floodgates are limited.
Yeah. Wait.
So it's like the deck's just non-existent. I don't think. Plus, it gets countered by the mirror. You know, Runnick stun gets countered by Runnick, another Runnick deck. Also, floodgates against tier.
Yeah, not so much.
Yeah, that's just D. Yeah, that's just D. Are we counting Spright into that one? So Runnick
Yes.
for higher Spright or
Yes.
no?
Yes. I don't think I ever see full high word Spright. I think.
Okay,
it's
so
really good.
if that's what Spright, that's probably. Is that my tier 1? Because I was gonna put Spright in tier 1. I'm just thinking about which variant. Either pure or that one. I actually don't know which one's best.
Just little amount of people playing it properly.
I guess you can have the final call. Just what do you think?
It's good, but not as Tearlaments and Spright. I can put it into.
Okay, sure. Alright. Oh, now Runnick Naturia, the actual good deck. That's probably a tier 3. Like it's definitely there. Where in tier 3? I'm not sure, but it's definitely there. I don't think tier 2. I'm only saying this with this much confidence because I've been using it, right? So I kind of understand better what it's like good and bad with and against.
Yeah.
So I definitely think a tier 3 is deserving. Even if you don't see it anywhere, because no one really plays this, and I'm gonna be real, a reason for that could be because it's really hard to pilot. It's really hard.
Yeah, every
it's harder than I expected it.
Every Runnick variant is hard. Like,
Because what you do, because what you do is simple, but like the decision-making aspect of it is pretty complicated. Also, like making sure you play around cards. You know, like you know, chain links and this and that. Like what do you do first? So yeah, there's a lot of thought process in the deck. So yeah, that could be a reason. Runnick Spright.
I think it's just the same as for higher, but now people just too lazy to see it. It's still pretty decent.
Yeah.
You don't care about bestial at all, but no one.
Yeah, I also think people are sleeping a bit on the deck. Yeah. Or maybe they just want to play other things. Because I think the deck is still good. Honestly, people probably don't even play Runnick Spright at the moment because you could play a better revision. I feel like that's the gist of it.
Like for higher, like.
But like, it's still a good deck. Yeah. That's what's the name of that?
Scareclaw.
Scareclaw. That's doing nothing. Are we mean enough to put it in D? Is it D? Is it as bad as these decks? I actually don't know. I don't see enough of the deck. It's like
It's like I think the is fair.
Bottom cope.
Yeah.
Okay, bottom cope it is. Sure. Yeah, that's fine. Shaddolls.
It's there.
I have not seen Shaddolls in a while.
But just put it this way.
Because like if it has tier, it's Okay, when I say tier, I mean like when they use like window and stuff, and it's not really a Shadow deck.
No,
It's just tier
I just tier.
with some Shadow cards.
I just
Yeah. So that's what I mean. So this is a Shadow deck. I don't even know what a Shadow deck looks at the moment. Is that machines? Earth machines or
Spring
something
guns,
else?
Spring gun.
Oh, spring guns. I don't know enough about this deck. I'm gonna be honest. I've seen them do stuff, but I don't know enough about it. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, is that Evil Twin Spright?
Right, yeah.
That version really fell off.
I think I put it in there
Cause like,
Sprite's still better.
yeah, exactly. Cause I wouldn't put it in cope, but I think I would never like choose that version over the others. That's Tri Brigade, right?
Yeah,
Tri Brigade Spright.
Brigade.
I think it's the same. Yeah,
Same,
same train. Yeah, it's like it's a good deck. It's just why would you play it if there's something better, kind of thing. And now Spright, Pure Spright. That's my first tier 1 for me.
So,
That's up there. Shit's good. Shit is good. It's competing with some other deck that people definitely don't know which one it is right now as the top 1 spot. So, yeah. I don't think we even need to explain why. It's just a good deck. Really good deck. Ooh, Spyral. Oh man, this is a roller coaster. It's like some people would say it's like insane, and then others say it's awful. It's like
hardcore.
Bestials also don't help because Bestials just completely fuck over the master plan. You don't really see it that much either, but it can FTK. And it can like play through some disruption when it goes second, like it goes kind of hard. I don't know, man. It's like I feel like it's too good to put it in cope, right? Like I feel like it's too good to put it in cope.
Just put it inside flow. so no one will mad at me. Cope.
Sure. Yeah, that can stay there, sure. Just note that a Bestial will banish the master plan, and like, it's definitely not the best deck out there, but it's still Spyral, and if you don't open hand traps, they will FTK you and you lose. So it's kind of like Drytron, but it's better. Sky Striker. I'm not too high on Sky Striker right now. I would put it in cope, honestly. Yeah, just cope. They just don't do enough anymore most of the time. I don't know how they keep opening engage in literally every hand ever, but that's a different conversation. Oh my god, Dyna stun. Ugh. Yeah, no. Honestly, I hate that deck in like every single way possible. In the terms of like, I actually hate it and I think it's bad. If it goes second, it just does nothing. Straight up, you go second with that dumbass deck, it does nothing. You just lose. And then if you go first, you have to pray your opponent doesn't have the outs. And then of course when you don't actually have the outs, it feels awful and you lose and you're like, fuck this deck, but it's not good. Just leave it in D. To be honest, it's like, it's bait for people who want free wins and easy wins. Yeah, that's a deck. Ooh, Sword Soul. Now Sword Soul.
Protoss still a thing.
Yep, Protoss is still a thing. Sword Soul is hard, man. It has quite a few things going for it. It's just not. It simply got power crapped. right?
Not flashy.
But it still has Protoss. It still has explosiveness. It just doesn't play through stuff as well as other tier decks like Spright and Tier and all that.
I think it's tier 3. Like,
Is this a tier 3? It's probably a tier 3, right?
yeah.
Either tier 3 or a low tier 2. Yeah, tier 3 is fine. Tier 3 is okay. I think that's fair. Oh look, it's you know, it's honestly, it's a deck that should honestly be in D, maybe Cope.
I don't know, man.
No, okay, that's the best deck in the game. That's just tier 1. Yeah. Some people are saying it's not the best deck anymore. I completely disagree. I don't think Spright is better. I think Tier is still the best deck. It's just closer. It's just closer. But Tier is still the best deck. Like, it still functions very well. It's not like bricky to the point you can't play it. Like, you can absolutely play it just fine. It's an insane deck. So yeah. The other tier 1. Now I know that's Regulus.
Therion.
So Therions. Is Therion's a real deck even, or is it just an engine? There's a Therion deck. Okay, no, it's it's literally tiered Brennan with a Therion. Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's real. Just saying the Regulus as a card is good. A Therion deck, probably not. It's probably not. So yeah. Ooh, Thunder Dragons. Now I think pure Thunder Dragons. Well, that doesn't even exist. I don't think. If it does, it will probably suck. So you kind of have to count it with other cards. Yeah, I would probably give it tier 3 as well. I don't think it's like bad to the point it's scope. It could be. I could see an argument, but Colossus is still a card, and then the other cards kind of carry as well. You know, the other dragon cards. Oh, Traptrix, dude. The new support, Traptrix. This one's hard to tell as well. Well, like, do we think it's gonna do something meaningful?
Traptrix going second is not really good for what I see.
I think the deck plays evenly exactly because of that. Of course, you'll have stuff like Prime and Omnis, so it's not as good. I think in TCG that wasn't prevalent at the time or something, so it worked better. Man, I like Traptrix too. It's so unfortunate. It has to go to Cope, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't see it being better than anything that's above. Unfortunately, it's like. But I feel like it can win if it goes first and you just like do your own stuff. Traptrix stuff, I feel like you can win. But yeah. Ooh, Lyrilusc. Now, I'd like to consider this with Tri Brigade because Pure is really just for fun. Like, the real deck is Tri Brigade with Lyrilusc, Birds. Now, you don't see the deck, right? Like, you don't see the deck at all. I don't know if it's scope though. I don't know, cause the deck's good, man.
They're still good, but where's the people who play it?
Yeah. That's kind of true. I don't know. I feel bad putting it in cope. It is a good deck. I'm trying to compare it to the other ones in the tier 3 status. It's like, do I think it stands there? It's either low tier 3 or high cope, in my opinion. Because I also haven't seen much of it lately, so it's always hard to tell when you don't really see the deck in the meta. For me, it's high cope or low tier 3.
For me, high cope.
I've played the deck, I've seen Megan play the deck like crazy.
I don't know, man. People just don't play it often like it used to be. It's still great.
It used to be really good. If you leave it in cope, that's fair. I guess. Oh boy, water stuff. Yeah, that's a straight up D for me. That's another just go first cheese strap, and
yes,
there you go.
Yeah. I don't think this
Zephyra.
this is not it.
That's one of the decks I hate the most in this game. Man, I just don't like the deck at all. I don't like the cards. I don't like pens. I just.
Just Spyral.
I don't really even know what Zephyra does in terms of end board.
Yes, Jinx stuff and Aurora stuff.
Yeah.
It is the same with Aurora stuff like Karakuri, either Dragon or Zephyra. It's just Aurora Turbo for me.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's the same.
Fair enough.
Copy
Sure.
on Aurora.
Guru, another despair for me. I've never liked that deck, and it's another one where I feel like it goes second, it just gets clapped. So red resonators. That's just the despair. Okay, Salamangreat. Dude. That's a deck we still recommend to new players, right?
Yeah, no.
Like, I don't know.
After the Sword Soul Secret Pack release, I think Sword Soul is definitely the best thing to recommend to new player. But
Oh, true, because it's gonna get a new pack, yeah. So where do we leave Salamangreat? It's another deck that doesn't lose to Bestials. It's extremely simple though, doesn't do much.
but
The best end board is literally the counter trap plus
hand trap.
Baguska Pass. And then, oh my god, the people who go with Eat Soul fucking control, it's like, that's so cringe.
Yeah.
Like, do we put it in cope or do we put it in despair? I don't want to disrespect the deck, I really don't. It's just, like, do you even see it anymore? Like, I haven't seen salads in so long. It just doesn't do enough. And it doesn't lose to the Bestials, but when you go for access code, you could just Bestial in the battle phase, and it kind of messes you up.
Same with
Oh, last one. Zoodiacs. Zoodiacs, it's a bit weird. Yeah, I mean, you disrupt the normal summon, you lose, but then they also play like 20 hand traps and blind second. So it's like, can your hand trap stop the deck you're facing? And that's pretty much it. And then you normal summon 6 Matsus. Yeah, it's probably there. I haven't seen Zoo in a fat while either.
I'm not really sure about the new card, but I think Labrynth is good in tier 3 for woman. We'll see.
Yeah, Labrynth is the only one I could put up. Like, I think we could put it in a tier 2. Possibly, but again, it's a guess. I don't know yet.
Okay. Thank you, Vic.
And thank you for the invite. This was fun.
I think we'll do it again sometimes.
Oh, dude, that would be cool. Yeah.